All right, rollers, please. No deliveries. Warm-up is now over. If we could have everyone, Mr. Perez. The pin setters will begin to cycle off. And in less than 10 seconds, they will cycle. As soon as you get a full rack of pins, you may begin your scoring competition. Good luck and good scoring today.
Long way to go.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to day 2 coverage here from the 2021 USBC Masters. My name is Mike Flanagan, and I'm here with you today almost all day long as my man Aaron Smith is working on another assignment today, so I'm happy to be bringing you the action. This morning we had a little bit of a hiccup here with some internet issues, but I think I've got everything corrected now along with Jason Thomas. So I'd like to welcome in our entire audience wherever you're watching. And we're looking forward to bringing you 15 games of qualifying here today over a course of 3 different squads, A squad, B squad, and C squad, of course. I'm going to go ahead and full screen here for you. We're over on lanes 45 and 46. Where we have Dan Higgins, Zach Tackett, DJ Archer, and Zach Stone. Zach Tackett was leading the tournament after 4 games on his squad. He finished at plus 43, really respectable score. Don't forget Zach Tackett is the brother of EJ Tackett. A couple of really superb individuals, the Tackett brothers, let me tell you. DJ Archer finds himself at plus 10. Zach Stone is minus 137. And Dan Higgins hanging around the even number at minus 7. So many things to talk about here. If you're just tuning into the event here and you didn't watch anything yesterday, the oil pattern and the pace of scoring is the real story here. AJ Johnson through 3 squads yesterday leads at plus 112, and he came off of the C squad that bowls at 7 p.m. Pacific. Coming off of the A squad that bowls at 8 a.m. Pacific each day is Gary Faulkner Jr. at plus 103. And for some squad equality here, coming off the B squad at plus 101 was Jason Sterner. And that squad bowled at 1:30 p.m. Pacific yesterday. And those will be the times that we'll be live with you here on Bowl TV today. So pretty interesting that you got 3 different squads and AJ Johnson at plus 112, and then Gary Faulkner at plus 103, and Jason Sterner at plus 101. Kudos to the folks that put together the lane condition and applied it down consistently throughout the day yesterday. In addition to that, if I look through the standings, the other important number to pay attention to is that cut line of the 64th position. And Jacob Buttrick, because he's defending champion, he will be automatically seeded into the round of 64 double elimination bracket that we'll start bringing to you on Friday. So technically 63 spots if Jacob does not qualify inside those top 64. But right now we have a tie, a 3-way tie for 62nd position. Joseph Calcord, Timothy Foy Jr., and Stu Williams, Beef Stu, are all at minus 12 right now. That is the number to make it into the top 64. I've also just got news on a tweet that was sent out this morning from Sean Rash. And his note and status, his tweet, I'm going to quote, is, "To my fans, friends, and family, good morning. I woke up this morning and I'm not feeling well. Out of an abundance of caution, I've decided to withdraw from the United States Bowling Congress Masters. I do not want to put anyone at risk or the event in jeopardy. There will always be another tournament." And he posted a chalkboard picture saying better safe than sorry. So Sean Rash's Masters is done and over. And in my opinion, a pretty classy move on Rash's part. If he didn't feel well this morning, he doesn't want to potentially disrupt anyone else. And that's a classy move, but at the same time very sad, because Sean Rash has done it before. He's won this event. He's one of the players in the event that has won before, back in 2007. Which was when he first got onto the scene on the PBA Tour, taking home the 2007 USBC Masters. And I think the most important thing here to talk about is, Sean, we hope that you are safe and you have a speedy recovery and you can get home to your family in a safe way. So that's kind of a big story here this morning. Sean Rash withdrawing from the USBC Masters because he's not feeling well this morning and he's being overly cautious, but wants to do the right thing. So as we continue to watch action here on lanes 45 and 46, we're glad you're with us here on Bull TV. Looking forward to interacting with you guys all day long. I see you guys giving me some feedback on yesterday. I had Chris Barnes' bowling equipment up here in the booth yesterday as we gave away a 900 Global bowling ball. I want to say hello to Howard and Jennifer McCline, Kevin, John, Aaron Smith helping us out in the chat. Everything seems to be looking good and streaming well here. Dan Higgins playing the extreme outside part of the lane. You know, Dan Higgins is a guy that could win this event. And I know you could probably say, yeah, but Mike, anybody that enters the event can win the event. But let's face it, Dan Higgins has got quite a decorated amateur career and no stranger to bowling well in the National Bowling Stadium. Take a look at DJ Archer. DJ had an injury that he's overcome. Looking good out there. You know, most of the time you see DJ, he's left to the fourth arrow, and he's playing pretty straight for his game today. DJ Archer, of course, many forget, he actually made the Masters telecast back in 2004 when he was just a young pup. Finished fourth in the USBC Masters. He's also quite the dancer, so maybe throughout this game here, if he can get his string extended, we will see him potentially do some dancing out on the lanes. Looking really good this morning. He's halfway home to, dare I say it, the first 300 game of the tournament. There you go, folks. I said it. So there's the cloud. If he makes it through this one, you can't blame it on me. Don't forget, we do have live scoring available. And to find a lot of information, including the topography report, live scoring, prize fund, the daily schedule, qualifying results, and of course, as we moved into the bracket, you want to make sure you head over to bowl.com and check out the USBC Masters page. Under tournament short duration, it'll take you right there, USBC Masters. Oh, not my fault. Look at that, DJ Archer. Front seven, a 4 and a 9 falling out late. All right, DJ. He's looking good. Looks like he's lost a couple of pounds as well. Well, tripping ain't easy sometimes. DJ Archer able to trip out the 4 and the 9. But Zach Stone not as fortunate. Good morning to you, Cole Schroyer. We see you in the chat. And Hosan, yes, you are correct. There is a little bit of a hiccup with the live scoring right now, so I spoke too soon. That's kind of been the theme of the morning here, everybody. We got up and running here on Bull TV, but it was just barely, just barely today. A little behind the scenes update for you, but rest assured, we are going to do everything we can to get everything dialed in. A lot of moving parts here, so thanks for bearing with us on the live scoring. We have a note in on that. All eyes move to DJ Archer right here. I picked a good pair. This morning. Yeah, that's a little bit of a fig jam of my own right there for you guys. But DJ, let's see if you can get the front 8. No 300s yet in this event. Here we go. Ooh, little loft. Oh, look at this. DJ Archer with the front 8. So that's 2 shots in a row. He's gone a little high. Oh, and he gave a little chest pound there. I don't know if that was intentional with Zach Stone. Dan Higgins is like, geez, you guys, come on here. I've thrown 2 opens in the last 3 frames. I want to get off this pair. Also, if you've been hidden in a cave or under a rock, they're bowling on fresh right now, and then they're going to move 1 pair to the right, bowl on another fresh pair for social distancing protocols. That's kind of been another major storyline of this event, trying to keep the bowlers safe. So what do we think, chat? DJ Archer going to be able to do this here? Dan Higgins a little bit further in on that lane. I don't know if he just moved there, as I wasn't paying close enough attention, trying to handle some other things here. But he was playing way out at the beginning of the game. That was more in between the second and third arrow, as A.J. Johnson talked about yesterday. He said he was playing the tube. That's where Dan Higgins was. So here we go, DJ Archer looking for the front 9. Come on, DJ. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Live scoring is now officially up and working. Those of you that were checking on that, I've just been informed that it's back up and going. Dan Higgins still out there trying to grind. Here we go, DJ Archer looking for the first 10. Right in between the second and third arrow. 10 in a row for DJ Archer. Any competitors that are watching this morning, if you have a purple jersey, you might want to wear that one today. So front 10 for DJ Archer, Dan Higgins. Not the start Dan Higgins is looking for. Zach Tackett as well. DJ Archer up here looking for 11 in a row. 45 and 46 to start his day. Came into the day plus 10. Very respectable score. Looks pretty good. Is it going to corner? Oh. Ring 10 for DJ Archer. What a great start. What an opening game here this morning for us to bring you. Heck of a run by DJ. He's got to feel good, though, being about 100 over after 6 games of qualifying. You know, he could be a player to watch, too, once you get into that bracket, especially when he's able to play the lanes this straight with his rev rate and his touch. Throwing urethane. Let's go ahead and fill it up here for the high game in the tournament, 289. I know we're not supposed to bother the bowlers during competition, but boy, I sure wish I could get DJ Archer up here for a quick interview, but I think I would be expelled by the tournament staff. Let's get a nice finish from our other competitors here on this pair. Let's see a nice finish by Zach and Zach, both spelled completely different. Keep in mind, Zach Tackett had a very good day yesterday on the lanes. Nice opening game here by Zach Stone. And when you're 130 under coming into today, this is what bowlers mentally have to do. You know, the number's probably going to be around even, roughly, to make this top 64. So Zach Stone today needs to go about 70 over, and then 70 over tomorrow to get into the number. You can't try to get 140 pins in one block on this. So best he can do now is 194. Hey, that's a good point in the chat. I didn't even pick up on that. But Alana Holbrook says, random, sorry. But has anybody noticed it says DJ Aker, not DJ Archer on the screen? It's making me giggle a little. I'm handling a lot of things up here, but proofreading the scoreboards is not one of them. So that is exactly why I love our audience. All right, game number 1, closing up shop here. Guess I'll I'll bring it into the booth here now. We're actually using a laptop camera today, and it looks like I might need to clean it because that thing right above my head, right? I'm all confused. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us. What an opening game we just saw here on lanes 45 and 46. So let's try to figure out where we want to go next. I'll pick a pair over here in my other computer screen, and we'll see where we want to land. Go take a look at live scoring real quick. Looking around the bowling center, Chris Prather, 229. Marshall Kent, 186. A couple notables. Michael Martell had a nice day yesterday, opened with 183. Jason Sterner led the squad. He can still bowl 204 in the 10th frame, down on 5 and 6. Graham Faw, 205. Justin Veach, 224. Brad Miller, not a good start, 155, everybody. Jerry Mars with a 198. Wes Malott's got 202 left on his fill. Let's see what else I can find here. Dick Allen can punch out for 196. Let's give you a little scoring pace here as we look at these scores. Tommy Jones, 226. Good start for Tommy Jones. And you can see all the live scores over at bowl.com. I know I've said it multiple times, but I just like to remind everybody. EJ Tackett can bowl 193. Let's see if there's any big scores that are standing out to me here. Zach Weidman, I actually walked over with him this morning. You know, here's a guy who's really emerged onto the scene. I mean, he's been bowling fantastic, and he opened up with 212. Wesley Lowe had a 174. Let's see what else we've got around here. Now we're getting into the lanes that you guys can watch right here on Bowl TV. You know, we have 8 different cameras. You can choose wherever you want to watch. We got a little more than half of the bowling center covered. Couldn't cover the whole bowling center. We just don't have that many cameras. 8 channels is the best we can do. So thanks for bearing with us on that. I know there were some people a little disappointed we don't have every single pair, but hey, folks, this is a big place. If we were in a 24-lane center, we'd have them all. Let's see. Just looking around, trying to get you some more scores. Scoring pace pretty low overall. We saw the best game in the building right here. So we did a good job picking a pair this morning. Okay, let's see where we want to go next. Flying solo up here, so not a lot of help right now on where we can go. You know, I think maybe we'll go 51 and 52, maybe get a little Kyle Sherman going here. I think that's what we'll do. That pair will get switched over. So let me bring in the audio here. All right, let's head over there. They're just finishing up game number 1. So Sherman opened up with 188. Michael Dragon finishes with 165. And Robert Calvano, 181. And Michael Rubin can still bowl 181 as well. And they'll flip over to 51 and 52, and this will be the same pair here. So we'll watch these guys for a little bit. I'm going to check in on our Bowl TV chat. Of course, remember you can chat with us if you're subscribed to Bowl TV. Darren Olson with a little dig at Kyle Sherman this morning in the chat. He says Sherman registered for this event. And Kyle's got a good sense of humor about it now. He didn't on the first day, but after that he's been cool about it. And if you didn't know, he didn't get his entry in for, I believe it was the TOC.
On lane 50, I struck on the last shot and didn't score.
Why is everyone standing around and not bowling? John Burkett asks. I just tuned in. John Burkett. Good morning, John. Still need you to get me a Zoom call with Will Clark, my favorite baseball player of all time. You just can't come in the chat and enjoy bowling and be in the bowling space. Of course, I got to take it to the baseball into the world here, buddy. But we're practicing safe bowling here, and they move from pair to pair so they can disinfect the other pair and be 100% safe here at the National Bowling Stadium. So these folks are bowling on their starting pair, and then they move one pair to the right, and then they sanitize the other pair. So we're only using every other pair here in the stadium, John. So here we go. Game number 2. Jason Thomas has switched our cameras over for us. I'm going to go full screen. No need to see me, everybody, but we'll take a look at the famous Kyle Sherman from the Brad and Kyle YouTube channel. Sometimes overshadowed by the YouTube channel, and people don't talk about his talent enough. But very talented bowler from the St. Louis area. I've known Kyle for a long time. Those of you that don't know, I am from St. Louis. Spent most of my life there. And I've known Kyle since he's been about 12 years old. So again, glad you're with us watching the 2021 USBC Masters here on Bowl TV. My name's Mike Flanagan. If you don't know me, I've spent many years streaming bowling tournaments, freelancing on my own channel, which is Inside Bowling. And it's an absolute privilege to be back calling some professional bowling action. I did a little bit of work with Extra Frame back in the day, working with the great Jason Thomas and Mike Jakubowski, amongst other fine folks on those broadcasts. I cut my teeth about 10 years ago, and I just love bowling like all of you, and really excited about everything that's happening here with not only this event, but I'll also be here for the U.S. Open. Of course, Matt and Aaron are the voices of Bowl TV, along with Jason Thomas. So it's just it's an honor to just be able to sit in and spend some time with you guys and be able to call the best bowlers in the world some action. So, and of course they throw me in solo, so Vin Scully in it a little bit here. Of course, I would never compare myself to Vin Scully, but anyway, I have no idea where I was going with that. Game number 2. We'll have a game 1 standings update here for you, probably in about 10 minutes is about how long it takes after every ball's been thrown. They're pretty quick with it. You can see that over on bowl.com. I'll make sure I check it out as well and give you an update, let you know what's going on. I can tell you that DJ Archer is for sure going to have the high game after the first game. So Sherman misses the head pin when he hits the OB in the first frame, and little light mixer there in frame number 2. Well, Robert Calvano is wearing a purple shirt, and he is 1 for 1. Could we see another purple shirt go front 10 here? Nice shot by Michael Dragon. His name is Michael Dragon, but I think he's got a Mustang on his shirt. If you're any bowler at all and you're watching these folks compete, it does look like in between the second and the third arrow where DJ Archer was playing is kind of the zone to play now. That's where AJ Johnson played and got a bunch of score the first 3 games yesterday. Bill O'Neill said in the vlog that I posted that outside of 5 is pretty much not in play. You can't get it back. So last night on C Squad. There are more scores in the top 64 that came off of C Squad yesterday. And from what I could observe, and I didn't watch every ball go down the lane, obviously, but it looked like those players were in a little bit further on the lane than trying to play them from the extreme outside part of the lane. And we just saw the highest game of the tournament bowled between the second and the third arrow with urethane, but low ball speed and a high rev rate. So if you've got a low rev rate, you know, a reactive resin bowling ball with some surface between the second and the third arrow kind of looks like the path to the pocket that I'm seeing be the most successful. Not to say it's the only way to attack the lanes. Seeing like you see that shot right there, more up the lane, and you don't have much miss room whatsoever. Key is trying to create a little bit of area for yourself, which is very difficult to do on this 1.5 to 1, 30 milliliters of oil, 40-foot USBC Masters lane pattern. I think Kyle would tell you that just wasn't a good shot. It looked a little slow and a little left to target from my vantage point. All of us at home or me sitting here on site being able to watch these players and analyze every detail. I don't know about you guys, but I'm glad I'm the one not out there having to try to repeat my delivery the same way every time at the perfect speed, picking the right ball, and releasing it the same way every single time. That's why they're the best. Rebecca Colby said, I took a lesson with Kyle in 2019. Super nice guy, learned some things from him. Berkey left this channel. He's down watching his buddy Klimpkin and Petrovich. Jeff wants to know, are they oiling between squads? Yes, it's fresh for every squad. That's one of the really unique things about this event this year. Not only are they bowling on fresh the first game, but they're actually technically bowling on fresh the second game because they just move a pair to the right. Kyle Sherman. Really searching for a ball reaction here. I'm going to go check in on our live scoring, see if there's anywhere we might want to move to here. All right, everybody, bring it back into the booth. I'm going to move us to another pair of lanes. We're going to go check in on a former champion of this event. As we move down to lane 63 and 64. Take a look at the man that they call Little Ant from where he bowls. Now located in Las Vegas, but from the great state of Texas, they call him Little Ant. Anthony Simonson, your 2016 USBC Masters champion. He's bowling with Leonardo Apollonia, Philip Watson, and Scott Matthias. And looks like here we've got some guys that have been struggling, and Little Ant is plus 24, so minus 256 for Leonardo, which you wouldn't know that from starting out with the first three here. And then the open frame, Philip Watson, he's from the St. Louis area, another local guy that I know. 193 under, and Scott's 100 under. So we'll watch Anthony Simonson here for a little bit and see how he's attacking this lane pattern. Stu Williams told me the other day that he thought Anthony Simonson had the best look in the building throughout all three practices. A little shocking to see Anthony only at plus 24. If he indeed had the best look in the building, according to Stu Williams. I'm going to refresh bowl.com and see if we got standings up for qualifying after two, and we do not yet. Should be just a matter of moments, I would assume. Now you get a good look to see how Simonson's playing in the lanes. You know, he's throwing a little bit firmer than DJ Archer was in game number one. And I just referenced those two guys because he's throwing urethane. And he's a couple boards right, a little more direct, but pretty much in the same zone as DJ Archer. DJ Archer allowing the lanes to open up a little bit. He's going a little left to right. Anthony a little more up the lane, right up around the 11th or 12th board from what I can see from my vantage point. Jason Sterner's halfway through game number two, I should say, on lane 7 and 8. He's got a strike, a couple of spares, and a triple working. One of the leaders of the event coming into today. Looks like he's got a pretty good ball reaction again today from what I can see from live scoring. Matt Russo looks like he's got the ability to string some strikes. He's got a 4-bagger on lanes 35 and 36. Tim Mack just came by the booth to point out to me that DJ Archer bowled 289, and now he's got a 6-bagger. little does Tim know that we covered it during game number 1. And if you want to watch DJ, he's on 47 and 48. You can switch over to there, and we might switch over to there too. Back to DJ if he gets the next strike. I'll switch back over to there. Just wanted to take a look and take you around the building a little bit, show you a couple of the different pairs since we have the ability to do so. Plus, since this is really my first day on the job utilizing StreamYard for the switching services, which I am totally not used to using for bringing you bowling action, it's good for me to get in some reps and some practice here. Benjamin Martinez has a possible 279 game. He's down on 67 and 68. And there's little Ann out there just getting lined up and starting to strike. Simonson with a triple up, looking for 4 in a row. DJ Archer is still striking, so I will take you there after this shot here by Simo. Anthony Simonson off and running here. Bring it back into Bull TV Studios West. That's what I like to call it here. And I'll get us moved over. See DJ Archer. Take you there now. So DJ Archer opened up with 289 the first game. Front 10. Opened on his first shot of this game. And now has thrown 7 in a row. You know, DJ Archer, if he can finish this game out, has a legitimate shot at bowling 800 for his first 3 games. See if we can keep the string going, or if we moved over here and clouded them. Well, I'm staying here, though. I want to see what he finishes with this game. 3, 6, 9, 10. When the lanes are flat and you've got OB out of bounds, throwing it at 3, 6, 9, 10 is not easy. You know, there's multiple ways to pick this thing up. You could just stand on the left and go cross lane at it and just hit the front pin and pray. Hooking at it, though, is not, you're not going to be able to get the ball back if you get it too far to the right. Let's see how DJ attacks this one. Woo. Little fist pump. That's what happens at the Masters when you're bowling on a tough pattern and you pick up the 3, 6, 9, 10, you give it a fist pump. DJ Archer looking to go to the tournament lead in this game. And that's how you get on Bull TV on the main feed back-to-back games is you go to the lead. So those of you that wondering kind of how I like to pick and choose what lanes we show on the screen, I like to cover the biggest stories. Nice shot by Zach Tackett. You know, he's an underrated bowler. Zach's really worked at his game, and he's overshadowed by his brother, of course, EJ. But Zach can play. He's made some top 24s on the PBA Tour. Break for Dan Higgins. It's a double for Dan. That one looked a little right at target, and DJ had a little bit of a hop on that one. That's one thing with DJ. He's got a little hop that he's kind of notorious for, but when I was watching him bowl the first game, he was staying down quite a bit. Looks a lot more balanced right now. Looks like he's bowling really good. Got really good fundamentals right now. So again, if you're just joining us, he bowled 289 the first game, high game of the event. Had the front 10, then left the 10 pin. Started the day at plus 10. So 289, a possible 244. Looks like he's going to make a ball change and go to another urethane ball, a different one from what I can see. Just checking in on the chat. Hello to Natalie Tackett. Good to see you in here this morning. Hello to Justin. And Jim, good point. Just let me know he was watching Simo, and he's playing around 7-8 at the Arrows. But similar break point to DJ Archer's. We've kind of been discussing lane play early this morning. We got on a little bit of a lane play kick. So DJ finishes with 240. Up here in the booth, hanging out with you, Mike Flanagan here with you this morning, bringing you the coverage on the solo pod. We are efforting to bring in a guest here shortly. I'm logged into the live scoring right here. Chris Prather can still bowl 206. Marshall Kent can bowl 223. Picking out some notable names. Jason Sterner, the squad leader coming into today, can bowl 223. He's up in the 10th frame. Dick Allen still has 204 left. Kim Bolaby, 233 left. Chris Sloan has thrown 6 in a row after 3 straight opens. Down on 11 and 12, so he's got a chance. Oh, 7 in a row now. So that's a nice recovery. You go open, open, open. And then a 7-bagger. It's kind of fun to just look at all the scores up and down the National Bowling Stadium. Richard Teese, 234. Chad Roberts, 214. Thomas Wolf, 225. They're all in the same pair. It's 19 and 20. Toby Sambueno bowled a 231 game. So did Matthew Russo. DJ Archer, of course, we saw the 240 right here. Kyle Sherman grinded out 208 that game. He threw a triple in the 6th to the 8th frames when he was over there when we were watching him. Let's see what else we have here going through the house. Corey Vatos bowled 220. And a whole bunch of games sub 200 as I scroll up and down the bowling center. Hey everybody, this is a great opportunity to talk to you a little about the upcoming 2021 PWBA season. We had the kickoff classic here back in January where they crowned 3 champions on the PWBA tour, and you can watch all the coverage of the PWBA season here on Bowl TV. The 2021 PWBA schedule up there on your screen. Coming up April 22nd through the 24th is the Twin Cities Open, followed by the Lincoln Open, the Greater Cleveland Open. There's a lot of professional women's bowling coming up here all summer long. And don't forget about that special event down there that they couldn't have last year. Donna Connors and her team down there, they're striking against breast cancer mixed doubles, July 29th through August the 1st. Great opportunity to make sure you're subscribed to Bowl TV. An annual subscription takes you all the way through the women's tour and all the way around, wrapped around at this time next year. For those of you that are already subscribed to Bowl TV, we thank you for supporting what we're doing here. More big things to come. Of course, collegiate season as well. Lots of competition on Bowl TV. And of course, you can also take a look at our Bowl TV schedule for this event right here, the USBC Masters. Continuing coverage today. Again, these times are Eastern, so confusing me a little bit. 4:30 Eastern, 10 o'clock Eastern. And then, of course, more action Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then on Sunday, you want to make sure you want to tune in to FS1 for the stepladder finals of this event. All right. Let's figure out where we want to go next, everybody, as I hold the keys to the castle. And I will find a spot for us to go hang out here. Let's see where we may want to go. It is very cool here on Bowl TV. You can just pick what lanes down below that you want to go check out. Let's go right here to 45 and 46. We got Tommy Jones, Richard Teese, Chad Roberts coming into play, looks like. So we'll just let's go here. JT will have us switched over to that pair here in just a moment. Actually, I could probably do it. It's actually right here. Maybe I can help the guy out. I'm going to go full screen so you don't have to see me moving around here. And just like that. Again, Richard Teese, Tommy Jones, Chad Roberts, Thomas Wolf here coming at you. Lanes 45 and 46. I already did it. Getting a lot of nice messages here this morning. Thank you to everybody that's been sending me some notes regarding how things are going here. I haven't checked in over on the standings here recently. Need to make sure I'm on the right link. Qualifying results round 2. Not up yet. I don't know why we got a little bit of a delay there. I see Tennille Milligan in the chat. It was awesome to spend some time with Tennille. Got to work with her at the PWBA Kickoff Classic. What a great job they did down there. Tennille and everyone involved. Really too many people to mention, but we'll just thank Tennille since she's the one that is the face and the one that oversees and ultimately has the answer to everything and everyone. Tennille, great job. I've got quite a bit of experience covering Chad Roberts. He's from the Midwest. He's from the Ohio area. Him and Dan Higgins are besties. They're best friends. They've won Eagles together. They bowl lots of tournaments together. They actually won the holiday doubles tournament, which I'm very familiar with. Tommy misses left and gets a break. It goes to show you just how hard they are when Tommy Jones is crossing over. He told me they were hard this week too, and it's going to take him a couple days. He'll see the pattern burn in and get himself right. But Tommy will be there in match play. You can almost guarantee that. I know he's 57 under right now, but he'll find a way. But back to Chad Roberts. Been watching this guy bowl for about 10 years. And I'm one of the only people, I think, that have seen a striking resemblance to Aaron Rodgers, the Green Bay Packers quarterback. I think Chad Roberts looks a lot like Aaron Rodgers. One of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, Chad Roberts. He told me a few weeks ago on the phone that last year he was dealing with a little bit of a wrist issue. He was experiencing some discomfort in his wrist. Kind of set him back a little bit. But back-to-back really good shots by Chad, and there's a blower 5-pin for you, Chad. Congratulations. I wish he didn't have to have his mask on. You could really see that he looks like Aaron Rodgers, but maybe he looks more like Aaron Rodgers with the mask on. And he takes a bow. That's a scary deal, trying to pick a 5-pin with everybody watching. Because if he picks the 5-pin, he doesn't get any accolades. But if he misses it, boy, it's 10 years of heckling. So I'm going to tell you guys a funny observation here. I haven't seen Rob Gottschall walk in the concourse this morning, who's running the event with Damon Sirocco, along with many others, but I'll just mention those two names. And the standings update hasn't come out yet. I was just talking about it. So all of a sudden I just saw Rob strutting down the concourse, and I thought to myself, if Rob's out here strutting down the concourse, that must mean everything's running smooth. And of course I go over to bowl.com and I check the standings. We've got an update after 6 here. We're through 7 games completed, but it looks like they've got everything moving along now. So DJ Archer with that 289 the first game and then 240. He's moving to the lead. We're gonna see an updated list here. Jason Sterner after the first game, he bowled 193. He finished up with 220 in the second game. So he's gonna be right around the lead as well. Bowling well on this B squad. Steve Klimpkin opened up with 230. He's improved to plus 69 through 6 games. But you can go over and check the scores now over at bowl.com. Good morning to Dennis Hacker in the chat. Good to see you, Dennis. We've spent many hours on the air together back home in the St. Louis market, especially when I was first starting. Glad to see you in here watching some bowling this morning. Hello to James Appling. Richie Teese with a nice break. Those always feel good. Richie's perfect on the right lane, a couple of splits on the left lane. Now, Chad Roberts, I didn't see his first shot, but, it's a strike up on the board, so I'm going to assume it was a good one. Left a 10-pin with a messenger that just missed it, and then a blower 5-pin. Let's see what he does here in the fourth. Oh, the messenger got it. I mean, this kid can play. I mean, this is a game you'd like to model yours after if you're a traditional one-handed bowler, if that does it for you. Obviously, that's becoming a rare breed these days, but Chad definitely has some game. And this is a fun pair to watch, actually, with he and Tommy. And I'm sure if you asked Chad, what was it like crossing with Tommy Jones, he'd just give you a big old smile and say, man, that's why I love bowling these events. I get to cross with the best in the world. And then go home and get to talk about it a little bit. Tommy Jones. There you go. Cool triple for Tommy. Seen a lot of messengers on 45. Notice the communication here between Chad, Richie, and Tommy Jones now discussing the lanes. That's always nice when you and I'm sure other competitors that might be watching right now say, man, I wish I had this cross, right? They love crossing together and being able to communicate when they have similar games or when they trust one another on their reads, because trust is a must when it comes to listen to another player on how to attack the lane. So, these three guys, you look at Chad, he's minus 63, looking to try to get back to even. You look at Richie Teese, he's minus 74, trying to do the same thing. Wrap 10 by Chad. He's bowled a great game right here so far. And Thomas Wolf and Tommy Jones. So, I mean, you look at all 4 of these players, and all 4 of these guys could make the cut. They're all within striking distance of getting into the cut. They need a nice day here But you can kind of tell they all can taste it. And there's Teese on the left lane getting his first strike for a nice double. So this is cool to watch. That's the kind of stuff I like to see happening out on the lanes. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it as well. I wear a lot of different hats in bowling, so my my aptitude to remember exactly what's happened at events is not always 100%. But I believe Richard Teese won his first title here in Reno at the National Bowling Stadium. Oh, Tommy. Watching that reminds me, if you're just joining us and weren't here this morning, breaking news. Sean Rash tweeted out this morning, to my fans, friends, and family, good morning. I woke up this morning, I'm not feeling very well. Out of an abundance of caution, I've decided to withdraw from the USBC Masters. I do not want to put anyone at risk or the event in jeopardy. There will always be another tournament. So classy move by Rash this morning. Wasn't feeling well and decided not to take any chances whatsoever. And the most important thing, Sean, if you're watching, all of us at Bull TV, and I'm sure the entire audience, we want you to make sure that you're safe and healthy, and that if you choose to go home, that you get home safely, or if you choose to stick it out here and get yourself tested, that we might see you at the U.S. Open here in a week. Oh, Saw's down to 10. Chad has bowled just a tremendous game. On the left lane, we've watched right here, 3 messengers. He just looked at me up here, too. He just came up to visit. 3 messengers. He's 2 for 3 on those. Mark's got a question in the chat, wants to know, it's out of curiosity, is this the same pattern that will be used for the Senior Masters? And I don't know the answer to that, but I would guess no. I would guess no, but I'm not a tournament official, and I just don't know the answer. But if I had to guess, I would say no, which basically doesn't help you out at all. Hello to Joe Inglekiss. He says, good morning, Mike Flanagan. Thought I would hop in and watch some of the action. Yeah, welcome, brother. Sorry I couldn't be at your event last weekend streaming it. But you had a great one again, Joe. Up there, Greater Iowa Bowling Association. Go to giba-bowling.com. Check out the events that Joe runs. Tommy Jones. 3-6 through the face. You know, I've kind of neglected Thomas Wolf here just because I don't know him as well as I know the other 3 bowlers. And he's got the best number on the board out of everybody. If any of Thomas Wolf's family's watching, let them know that maybe he and I need to go to lunch or dinner or something so I can get to know him, so I can talk a little bit more about him on the live stream. It looks left. Yep. So Tommy and Chad both did the exact same thing on the right lane. They both just missed left. By the way, Richie waving there. He's waving at me, and then he just asked me is this what you're streaming, this pair? And I told him, yeah. So we'll see if he hams it up for you on the camera a little bit, knowing that we're talking about him. Probably not. Oh, hooked. It did. Now Tommy's using the purple ball, and that was one of the two balls that he used to bowl 300 at the Hall of Fame Classic. What a moment that was. You know, when I think of the greatest moments in PBA history, you know, I think of older moments, of course, but in the newer era of the PBA, post 2000, I would say, you know, of course, everybody thinks of Pete. Who do you think you are? I am, which is, you know, obviously probably the slam dunk number one. But I have a hard time arguing with Tommy Jones' Hall of Fame weekend and bowling 300 and taking home the title to move ahead of Barnes in overall titles. They were tied. Classy move by Barnes, too. They're great friends. Up on the approach, giving them a hug, congratulating him. That was just a great moment. Thomas Wolf with the strike. Lucky break on that one, but he's not getting too lucky. He's 57 over. He's making good shots out there. You see Chad come in and leave the 2-pin. Very easy to do after going high for 3-6-10. Just to kind of gas it a little bit or just miss a little bit right. Trying to make sure, playing a little defense, make sure you don't go through the face, and then you leave a 2-pin. Here's Teese. Looks like he got it to the spot a little earlier. Maybe it was a little slow, a little cautious with that delivery. Let's see if Thomas Wolf here can capitalize on that nice break in the 7th, get himself a double here, make up for the single pin miss in the 2nd. It's kind of the rule for any competitive bowler. If you leave an open frame, you want to throw a double somewhere in the game to make up for it. And this is his opportunity right here in the 8th. I've got some faith here. I think he's going to do it. A whole bunch of stuff happened on that shot. Obviously, he didn't execute, but if that head pin falls, it makes it a more difficult spare. So fortunate to leave the head pin up here as part of the washout. He's probably about 70% to make this, and Tommy Jones with a blower 5-pin does fall, unlike Chad Roberts, who left a blower 5-pin earlier. Tommy Jones putting together a really nice game here. Let's see. Nope, not able to capitalize. So an open frame in the 8th, not what Thomas was looking for at all. Alex let me know that Thomas Wolf's a regional motive staffer from North Dakota. Appreciate that. You guys in the chat are very knowledgeable. Matt wants to know on the Tommy Jones moment, what made it great for me? Was it the 300, the Hall of Fame title on Hall of Fame weekend, or number 20 to get past Barnes? I'm guessing C. If you joined us yesterday, Barnes and I were giving each other the business a little bit. It's just something that we enjoy to do. But no, I think it was winning the Hall of Fame title on the Hall of Fame weekend was the most important thing. So we've seen a couple of washouts here now. Seems like the guys are just opening up their angles just a little too much here. in the latter part of the game. Neither player converts the washout. That's a little surprising to me. So Chad Roberts has bowled just a tremendous game, and he's going to be sub 200. Would like to have those shots back in the 7th and the 9th, though, I'm sure. But Tommy Jones lurking, 57 under. Looking to get back half or more of this game. That looks pretty good. Similar ball trajectory and ball pattern to what we saw DJ Archer do right here on this pair, and they're really good friends. There's Thomas Wolf, throwing it like he knows what he's doing there. Nice shot, buddy. Oh, that's much better. I'm going to go check out our live scoring, see if I can report anything that's going on here in the National Bowling Stadium. Michael Rubin down on 1 and 2, still has 2:37 left. Let's see what else I can find. Steve Klemkin. Possible 238 going into the 10th frame. Having another really solid block here. Chris Prather can bowl 214. He's second shot in the 10th. Marshall Kent going to be in the 190s. Graham Faw 211. Jerry Mars can still max out for 226. Brad Miller not having a very good game, number 3. Wes Malak can bowl 226. That's another name to watch for. EJ Tackett can bowl 209. So he's going into the 10th frame on 57 and 58. Matt Russo can bowl 246. He's going into the 10th frame over on 61 and 62. 207 posted on the board by Wesley Lowe. Dan Higgins can bowl 216 on his fill ball. Zach Stone could be in the 240s. They're down on 73 and 74. A little look around the building for you. Chad Roberts finishes with 191. Richie Teese 178. Hook. It's just so easy to throw that ball past the break point. So easy. Super impressive here by Tommy Jones. From my vantage point, he looked a little right of target down lane. And I'm sure he was thinking, oh, please get there and don't 10. But all that power, even Tommy Jones, when he came onto the scene, he was the most power on tour. Now he's lucky if he cracks the top 10. Speaking of Barnes, too, was mentioned in the chat. When I watch Barnes compete in St. Louis at the U.S. Amateur, yeah, just not a good shot by Tommy there. I thought he hooked the ball a lot. I thought he was the modern-day power player of his time. Now, granted, over time, as he went out on tour, he became pretty famous for backing his hand out of it and going more up the lane and not hooking it as much as he did back then in his amateur days. But Barnes could hook it with the best of them, and I can't believe I'm saying this on the air right now. I hope he's not listening, but I wanted to be like Chris Barnes. I wanted to be able to cover that many boards. And then when he went out and was bowling so well, going up the lane and tightening up his angles, you saw a guy like Mike Fagan do the same thing. Fagan used to hook the entire lane. And then he said, in order to win out here, I got to be able to go more up the lane like Barnes and Duke. And he won the Masters doing that. Specifically remember that one. We miss Mike Fagan, but he's doing well. I talked to him a few months ago. He and Robbie Spigner, and of course his wife Emily, and he's now a father. Still involved in the bowling business in the Minnesota area. Minnesota. Well, that was a fun one. Hope you guys enjoyed game number 3 here. Enjoyed that pairing myself. Once again, if you don't know me, my name is Mike Flanagan. I'm helping out here this week, and I'm assisting the Bull TV coverage, flying solo here with you on this day number 2 of qualifying. Aaron Smith is working on a selection show for collegiate bowling that'll be live on USBC's. I believe on Facebook, but for sure on YouTube and of course on Bull TV, so you can check that out today. I guess I could bring up our schedule here again for you. Here's what we got for you, folks. Lots of coverage here on Bull TV coming up here the rest of the week, and of course we'll get a slide built for the U.S. Open, as we'll be bringing you the coverage for the U.S. Open next week. Back-to-back majors here in Reno at the National Bowling Stadium. And we promoted a little bit earlier, but I want to give them some love again here. But the 2021 PWBA schedule here, PWBA season just right around the corner. The season kicked off back in January. Don't forget, if you're a Bull TV subscriber, you can watch all of the competition all summer long. Really looking forward to checking all that out on Bull TV. And don't forget, no national television this year for the PWBA. So all your stepladder finals are going to be found right here on Bull TV. Bull TV West Studios here in Reno, Nevada. So you know what I'm going to do, folks? I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to figure out where we want to go next as I see the players start to shuffle around, and I think I might see where I want to go already. And I think we're just going to stay right here, because my buddy Steve Klimpkin's coming over here, and I know John Burkett wants to watch Steve Klimpkin, and maybe Berkey will join us in the chat if we stay here. So. I'll go ahead and bring this up, and I'll go ahead and switch the camera over for us as well. Let's go full screen.
Players, you may move to your next pair and begin game.
It's kind of nice selecting the pairs near me here, because I get a little interaction from the bowlers so far today. So by just staying here, is very comforting to me. But I can certainly switch around and go to some other pairs as we enter game number 4. We've got a nice ensemble here. We've got Steve Klimpkin, who's plus 74. Benjamin Martinez is minus 76. Nolan White minus 154, and Joseph Petrovich at minus 180. Nice break for the two-hander. Take a look at the style of Steve Klimpkin. I talked about it on the practice day when I picked him as who I believe would be the highest finishing amateur bowler, as he just pures a shot right there. I live in Ogden, Utah, and Steve's one of my neighbors. And Steve's always one of those guys that I've always enjoyed having conversations with about the game. And he takes the game very serious, but he's also a historian of the game. He's a product of Wichita State University. He's got his Coach K scholarship. And, of course, he's been a fixture in a stable and someone that's really helped with ball development and has just done an amazing job at Storm Bowling Products. So he's an accomplished bowler, but he's also an accomplished businessman in the industry. He's also an incredible coach. He's helped out internationally with a lot of the Storm sponsored national teams and is well respected throughout the world. So being a neighbor of his, I get to keep up with his travels and kind of what he's done in the region. And he's bowled some events in the Northwest. There's a small bowlers tour, but with a lot of really healthy competition. And Steve has won the last 3 events in that area. So that tells me one thing. They're not easy to win, and when you win 3 of them in a row, your game's got to be pretty sharp. So to see Klimpkin come to the Masters again this year, don't forget, this guy did make the show. He did make a Master show recently. Steve made the show in 2018 and finished 3rd. Got to really live out a dream on that show, looking to get back there again. We talked to him yesterday after his block. And if you talk to pretty much any professional bowler, they would be able to tell you that if Klimpkin would have taken the tour as his path of a career, he would have been a champion on the PBA Tour, probably more than once. But his contribution to the game in so many other ways, through his work done in Storm Bowling Products and his ability to give back to the game as well. Also, he's a fixture on the Tim Berg Above 180 podcast. They have a collegiate podcast that they put out every week. Very knowledgeable. If you haven't seen that, make sure you check that out as well. So we'll enjoy watching Steve deliver his shots on 47 and 48 this game. Again, he pured the first one, and I'm sure he'd like to have the second frame back. Glad you're with us watching here on Bowl TV. It's the 2021 USBC Masters. My name is Mike Flanagan, bringing you the coverage here today. Throughout the day, as coverage continues, I will have some guests in here joining me remotely, as we can pipe in guests as we did yesterday. We had quite a crowded crew on the second block yesterday. We had Packy Hanrahan, Chris Barnes, and Josh Blanchard. Always appreciate those guys joining us. I'm supposed to have Andrew Anderson on tonight. They do have standings up after game number 7 now over at bowl.com. DJ Archer is your tournament leader through 7 games of qualifying at plus 139. Jason Sterner is in second at plus 117. Third on this squad is EJ Tackett at plus 69. Anthony Simonson is fourth on the squad at plus 58. Steve Klimpkin also plus 58. And that was again through 7 games. 8 games are completed. We are in game number 9, number 4 of this block, but game 9 overall in this B squad grouping qualifying. I'm going to catch up on the chat here. Been doing a few things up here in the booth, but I don't want to ignore the chat because I love the chat. Dennis Hacker says the stadium looks awesome from the pics I've seen this week. Been a while since I was there. Looking forward to the next time. John Willick giving us a Brad Miller update. He's 100 under after the first 3, according to John. A lot of Tommy Jones fans in the chat. John's also a fan of the pattern here, seeing the bowlers really be tested. Every time I mention PWBA, Tennille's in here with the Purple Hearts. Appreciate the interaction, Tennille. Joe Engelkiss says, hey, Mike, can you share how you were chosen for this gig? Well, there's not many people left. There's a small pool of people that can possibly do this. And I can't claim that I do it well, but I do my best. No, I've got a good relationship with the folks at USBC, and I greatly appreciate that. I like working with their team. For whatever reason, my personality matches theirs, and they can put up with me for extended periods of time. But in all seriousness, I really do appreciate the opportunity and the relationship that I do have with the folks at USBC. You know, it's been a trying year for my business and for my involvement in the bowling industry. And the fact that there are some folks out there that would still think that I can provide some sort of value to them in some sort of way through this live streaming or whatever else it may be, social media or whatever, it's just greatly appreciated. So I would say networking and trying to have good relationships is the reason for that, as we saw Steve Klimpkin, my man, out there with a nice double making up for that open. Let's see. Josh wants to know, is the PBA allowing spectators for the TV finals? Would love to go check out the Jonesboro Open. You know, I think you got to proceed with caution on that one, Josh. When the world opens up, the whole world opens up with vaccines and everything. I'm sure the PBA is going to follow suit. I would guess, but I'm sure they're going to be pretty cautious because you know, safety is first. You know, it really is. And then a lot of positive comments for Coach K, Steve Klimpkin here in the chat. Let's see, Nick Hoagland, Tricky Nicky here in the chat. Mike, are the lanes playing the same as yesterday from your perspective? Nick, I would say so. Looking at the standings, you know, when I go over and look at live scoring, I'm seeing the scores pretty much the same. You know, we have seen some folks, and this is just my opinion, and I'm not the tech guy, but from what I've seen, you know, we saw a lot of players on A squad try to play the extreme outside part of the lane, and as Bill O'Neill told me, outside of 5, there's quite a bit of hang. It's tough to get that ball back outside of 5. So the players that have migrated more in, like Anthony Simonson around the 7th and 8th board, keeping his angles pretty tight, not swinging it very much, utilizing urethane. We've seen him have some success this block. And then we've also seen DJ Archer a couple of boards left of that at the arrows, throwing it a little bit slower, but also using urethane, able to open up a window of a couple boards of area. But they are so touchy, like we just saw with Steve's shot right there. You know, Steve has thrown 5 shots now, and 3 of them that have hit the pocket have been for strikes, but his 2 misses, he's paid the ultimate penalty with a couple of through the nose multiple pin conversions, this one being a split. So I would say they're playing extremely similar, Nick. You've done a nice job with this pattern, with challenging the players. And I opened the broadcast with this, but I think my favorite thing about what's happened here is I like to look at squad equality. I think that's how you say that. And yesterday, the leader came off C squad at plus 112. The second place bowler came off A squad at plus 103. And the third place bowler came off of B squad at plus 101. Now, granted, there were quite a few people from C squad that are in the top 64 currently, and I'm interested to see over the course of the next few days if the night squad does play higher. There were also some ball reps and some other people that I value their opinion very much that say that the C squad group potentially, when you look at the stats and who's on the squad, could be a little bit of a stronger squad as well. So that's another reason for that. They don't go through and look at the top players and points and say, okay, well, Kyle Troop, you're going to be on A squad, and down the list, of the points. I don't have the points in front of me right now, but they don't do it that way. So Steve with 2 opens means he needs 2 doubles this game is kind of the rule. See if he can get a first one going here. No, through the face again. Very similar shot shape to what he did 2 frames ago on the left lane. I should say 2 shots ago when he was over on 47. Nolan White, though, bowling a nice game here. Triple, 9 spare double. He's 154 under, but there's a lot of bowling left. Nice game here would potentially get him back to just a double-digit number. Folks, I see you guys in the chat giving us some accolades here on how we're doing. I'll tell you, it's been extremely challenging here with so many different feeds going up. And those of you that know, we are also simulcasting. And I can just tell you that every streaming platform out there, being someone that's on their hands and knees laying gaffing tape, trying to get these cards made by these different companies that the camera inputs come into to try to work through laptops and then send out the stream keys and all these different 60, 70 digits per camera that regenerate every single block. Look, I'm not complaining, folks, but I'm telling you there's a lot that goes into this. So I would just caution you of being critical of any streaming service out there, whether it be this one, maybe the one that I stream on, or anybody else out there in the bowling marketplace. And it takes a team of people to be able to pull this off. And I can just tell you that everybody that subscribes to these things, it's certainly appreciated, but a lot of work does go into it as well. I'm learning firsthand here. This is my first time using the remote software, meaning StreamYard. And if you joined us last night, having 10 years live streaming experience, I looked like a fool there for about 30 minutes. So and my teammates here this week, JT, Jason Thomas, who hasn't been on air as much as I would like. He's been dealing with a lot of moving parts. Let's just put it that way. And of course, Matt and Aaron doing a tremendous job anchoring down the fort. And they're not even here. They're not even here on site. And it's tough to call action when you're not there. At least for me, it would be. So hats off to those guys. They really make it look easy. Man, I was really hoping to see some big scores here on this pair, but it's just kind of more of the same. But Nolan White's our superstar here. It's also a great opportunity to let you know that if you want to see some additional coverage of the event, make sure that you follow all of the social channels. Sport of Bowling on Facebook, USBC on Instagram, USBC on Twitter. There's a young lady here by the name of Caitlin Nelson who's part of our team, and she posted over 80 Instagram stories yesterday showing shots throughout the bowling center throughout the day, and giving you quick links to be able to go look at standings and tell the stories through the social platforms. And she's done a tremendous job and will continue to do so for about another 10 days or so here. Steve has gone high on that left lane. Quite a bit here. Benji made the finals in his region at the PBA Players Championship. We do have a standings update after game number 8 now over on bowl.com. DJ Archer plus 130, Jason Sterner plus 129, PJ Tackett plus 78, Steve Klimkin plus 74, Toby Sambueno plus 60, Christopher Prather plus 56, Anthony Simonson plus 46 along with Christopher Sloan, Marshall Kensett plus 42. Those are your players inside the top 20 currently, all squads combined. Matt Russo's plus 38, Michael Martell plus 27, Wesley Lowe's at plus 23, Michael Rubin plus 19, Thomas Wolf plus 18, Zach Tackett plus 11, Justin Beach is plus 6, and I'll even cover Kim Bolaby, who is the last player I will cover. He is -1. All the other players are plus on this squad. If you want to see how your favorite player is doing, head over to bowl.com. You can check it out underneath the USBC Masters tab. And just click on qualifying after, or I believe it says qualifying round 2. So a nice game by Nolan White kind of comes to an end here with his open in the 9th. He can still bowl 224 though, be high on the pair. Dennis Hacker with a question here in the chat wants to know, what's it look like over at the Row? Are the restaurants and the shops open? Actually, it's starting to open back up, but I will tell you there are a lot of restaurants not open currently. It's tough to get food over there right now. To those of you that don't know, that have come out here many years for nationals, and if you like to make it a gambling trip, the Harrah's shut down. Harrah's is no longer there, and it's actually being redeveloped into a non-gaming property hotel, and they're working on that right now. I don't know when it's going to be completed, but I can also tell you that Ichiban, the Japanese steakhouse that was inside of Harrah's, has now moved over to the El Dorado, and it has replaced the other Chinese type restaurant that they had in there, which is a little disappointing for some of us because that was a hidden gem. They had a Mongolian beef that right now my mouth is watering over and wishing I could have. with some white rice and a fortune cookie. And I would hope my fortune cookie would say something like, Steve Klimpkin is going to strike out in the 10th frame on lanes 47 and 48. And your lucky numbers are 300, 800, and I'll go with 0 because I'm sure a lot of people would like to be even right now in this tournament. Jason Miller in the chat doing some work for us, our sideline correspondent. He says that 20th on the squad is Zach Weidman at -16, and 21st on the squad is Wes Malott at -24. Oh, that was a really good shot by Steve.
Mike, I noticed you were talking about luck. I think I used up all my luck last night with the Bruins winning the Elite Eight game against Andrew Anderson's Michigan Wolverines. But looks like we're all good. Everything working out okay on the show?
As long as the folks are willing to listen to me kind of by myself here, get through my first full day switching the cameras and talking on Bull TV, I think we are okay.
Looks like, I'm sure you've covered this topic, but someone just asked about Sean Rash, John Thompson, about him WDing, and it's like the chat already taking care of that. But yeah, he's just wasn't feeling well, and so it's interesting to see if that impacts his ability to compete in the U.S. Open. As all the athletes did in the tournament, he went through the protocols and had some negative COVID tests coming in. So hopefully it's just a cold and he can get tested again, and then the symptoms take care of themselves, and he'll be able to compete in the U.S. Open. But unfortunate. Normally before COVID, you get the sniffles and no big deal. But these days you gotta, and good for him, calling it on himself and stepping away so as not to impact any of the other players in the field. It certainly seems like we've got a few more scores today, Mike, than we did yesterday on A Squad. Obviously, I saw DJ Archer's hot start, and feels like there are strings of strikes up and down the house. I've actually had to get up a few times and threaten to shoot a video of somebody attempting a 300 game. So it looks like a lot of these players are taking notes from what we saw last night on C Squad, starting a little deeper in the track. And what's interesting, I feel, is that you can hit them with both urethane or reactive from the track.
I'm glad you just came on and said all that, because that's pretty much what I've been saying today. I've been observing the exact same thing. We'll bring it in here. I know JT's working on a tech issue there, but I wanted to put his beautiful face on the screen.
My half face.
Yeah. So what's been going on here today, JT? From a technical standpoint, I know it hasn't been the easiest of days for you. I know we don't have an hour, but we just got a lot of stuff that's got to talk to each other, right?
Well, I could tell it to you in a funny. It seems funnier now than it did, about 3 hours ago. But just.
Did we have somebody come in and unplug everything overnight? Was it
the Gremlins? No, it. So the machines hadn't been off. There was two issues. One is the machines hadn't been off since Saturday when we first set them up. So I decided to give them the night off and rest them. And then we had a machine whose battery died at the end of our coverage yesterday. So in my infinite wisdom, woke up early, came over here, decided to take that laptop out of commission, switch a Wirecast license to another laptop, which worked fairly well. There are always some additional updates that have to be done, so it burned up a little more time than I wanted to. But I've turned on all the other laptops when I normally would, and none of them wanted to work. None of them would recognize the cameras. So I basically had to troubleshoot every single pairs, 24 different cameras, to get them all back online. And yeah, it was a little stressful, but we got everything working. Doesn't look like there are any technical issues that we're seeing in the chat. So yeah, it all looks smooth on the surface. It's like the duck, right? The duck is smooth on the surface, but paddling like heck underneath. And that's basically what this morning was like. So, but you know, it allowed people to not have to listen to me on the show today. So
Yeah, that's
it's always
true.
good that comes from every situation.
You know, when people ask me about live streaming, I think of each camera as like a kid you have to babysit, right? So here we're babysitting. Well, you're babysitting. I don't want to take any credit for that at all. 24 kids. Jason Thomas is taking care of 24 kids. He's got to make sure that they get 3 meals a day, which means 3 different stream codes a day, and then everything gets entered
6
in.
actually, 6 because of the
Oh yeah,
because we're simulcasting.
Yeah. It's and then I just get to sit here in Bull TV Studios West and just talk to the people and switch all the cameras around, which is the easy part. So
Speaking of switching cameras around, it's a new game, so I've got to go do that. But it's sure been nice talking to you.
it's sure nice talking to you too.
Sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. Cats in the cradle.
Yeah, silver spoon.
All right, guys. I'll be back.
I hope so.
I'm not gonna sing Hamilton, but you'll be back.
We actually have an
Soon
Alex
you'll
Hamilton.
see.
Alex Hamilton bowling in the field.
All right. Well, I'll be back. I'll be
Okay.
back.
That's JT. It's a little baddie working these events, so he's slightly losing it today, as you could tell from his references. But I'm gonna take care of him today. Make sure we get him plenty of liquids. Great opportunity here to just talk about the upcoming Bull TV schedule. I've been doing it between each game, but just a reminder in case you're just joining us, we do have coverage here all week for you. And then next week we've got the U.S. Open coming up as well here on Bull TV. Again, just because I love them, the PWBA coming up, 2021 PWBA schedule. Watch us live on Bull TV all season long. Great opportunity with no PWBA season last year. It's nice to have the ladies back for sure. So there's really no bowling going on around me right now. So I'm looking to see where we want to go next. See what we may have for you. Thinking about switching it up here.
All right, players, you may begin game number 5.
Looks like game number 5 is about to take place here. Let's see. Okay, I think I've settled on a choice. A little bit of a wider shot where I'm going to take you guys, but nonetheless, let's take you. take you down to the Paradise City here, where we've got Graham Faw, Marshall Kent, Justin Veach, Chris Prather. Veach is +6. Marshall Kent +19. It looks like 89 to me on Prather, and Graham is 52 under. Anybody know what Kyle and Brad bowled today? Brad was about 100 under thus far. I can find that for you and direct you where to go to take a look. So if you go to bowl.com and you click on tournament short duration, you click on the bowl or the Masters, and you click on second round qualifying. As I go up and down the list here, I'm looking for those guys. I believe I can do a Command F and just find them that way. Brad Miller bowled 155, 174, 166. And I know a lot of people are interested in Brad and Kyle because of their huge following on YouTube. They're approaching 100,000 subs. 188, 208, 216 for Kyle Sherman. And thank you for posting the link to the live scoring in the chat. McLean 1950. And looks like the last game Brad had 243 and Kyle had 212. Joe Engelkiss says, as I watch this, the field is very fortunate that Mike Flanagan decided to be a commentator instead of entering the tournament. This pattern appears to be right up his alley. And yeah, Joe, I decided to let everybody else bowl for the title instead of just taking it myself. Mark Klein giving me the assistance here. You're watching game number 5 of 5 here at the USBC Masters, second day of qualifying. The B Squad folks took to the lanes at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So about 2.5 hours it takes to bowl a squad, and purple seems to be the color that a lot of folks are wearing here today. Marshall Kent also wearing purple. Oh, look at that conversion by Justin Veach. That is not something you see every day. Pretty interesting way to make that. Prather throwing urethane, up about 7 or 8. A lot of Brad and Kyle updates coming in. Brad did shoot 243 game 4, and I believe Kyle shot 212 that game. Thanks for the assistance on that one. I gave a shout out yesterday, but I'm going to give another shout out here today to Kenny Seymour, who had a procedure done yesterday, a PBA bowling super fan. Everything went well, and the first thing they did as soon as he recovered and got out from his procedure was, Mom, let's fire up some bowling. I want to watch the USBC Masters. So, Kenny, hope you're doing well, my friend. Shout out to Zach Enders, who is watching. Corey Cowsert also watching here today. Hey, Brian, to answer your question in the chat, it was a washout. Selwyn is cheering on Chris Sloan, Richie, Kim Bolaby, and Pontus. We've got some specific bowling ball questions here. We've got a question from Brian. Wants to know, was Belmo throwing the overseas promotion yesterday with the R2X? I don't know the answer to that, but if I see Belmo, I can try to answer that. I can try to see if that's the answer, find out what ball he was using. And Don has an interesting question for me to answer on air, because this is always a difficult one to try to navigate. And the first thing I want to go and say is we are so fortunate in the bowling industry to have such talented companies that make bowling balls. There's some that have been around an extremely long period of time, and some that are fresh on the scene and new. And currently in the position that I'm in, with really no affiliation with any ball manufacturers, and I've had some over the years, I always like to tread lightly, because they are really the folks that help pump economical dollars into the sport of bowling, and none of this would be possible without the ball companies, because people just love bowling balls. You know that. So the specific question here in the chat is, have I tried the big bowling balls yet, and have I tried the Shimwrecker? And the truthful answer to that is yes, but I don't bowl very much anymore. And all I can tell you is I'm rooting for them to be able to be another option for bowlers to use, while all the other companies continue to flourish in the industry. And I'll leave it at that. They've got a lot of work to do that all the other companies have already perfected or came really close to perfecting. And the folks at Brunswick with their 7 brands, kudos to them. Kudos to the folks in Utah with Storm, 900 Global, and Rotogrip for all that they've done. I mean, this pandemic has been rough on this industry. And what these bowling ball manufacturers have done, and of course I can't leave out Motive, of course. Motive has just done an amazing job as well, just to be able to keep people employed, to be able to produce bowling balls, and adapt to what's happened with the slowdown of bowling and centers not being open. That's something nobody was prepared for. None of us were prepared for it. So their ability to keep sponsoring the events and keep making a platform and providing salaries to players and incentives to players to go out and perform at the highest level, it's not cheap, ladies and gentlemen, and we should thank all the ball companies. We really should. And everyone affiliated with all of them. You know, when I walk around out here and I talk to the reps, you know, Storm's reps are just fantastic people. And the players wouldn't be as good without the reps. Brunswick, same thing. Motive, same thing. And Big Bowling's got Jason Wojnar out here representing them this week. And Jason, I've known him for a long time, Midwest guy. And he's like a kid in a candy store. He's loving doing the rep job. So, again, it's tricky talking about ball companies, everybody, because it's a very competitive space. But working with most all of them and getting to know almost all of them, we're very fortunate to have such smart minds and good business people involved in our industry. I said it yesterday, I'm always a fan of somebody that's a bowler getting an executive position or having the ability to make decisions within anything within our industry. And that definitely goes for the bowling ball companies. They've got some bowling minds mixed in with some business minds, and some have both. And those are the real gems out there. So I'll leave it at that. Back to the bowling. Christy Leong joining us as well today. It was really fun watching you compete at the PWBA Kickoff Classic. Outpour of support for Christy and her family when her father passed away. Terry Leong, a living legend in the world of bowling. He will be dearly missed. Graham with a triple now. He'd like to finish off this block with a nice game here, try to cut into that negative deficit. Wes Malot's got a 4-bagger down on 1 and 2 in the middle of the game, coming off an open. Brad Miller can still max out for 222 down on lane 1. Just kind of looking around the live scoring. Haven't done this in a little while. It's been a couple games. If Nick Hoagland's watching, I'm seeing a lot of sub 200 games still in game number 5 across the center. Looks like I got a pair to maybe move this to. I know this has been a pretty nice pair to watch, but I do see something developing here that I may want to take us to. Watch another shot here from Justin Beach, and then I'm gonna move pairs. Let's move this down to lanes 53, 54. Anthony Simonson here, plus 69, bowling a pretty nice game. Spare 5 in a row. Spare working. We were watching these guys bowl earlier today, and you see Leonardo there has continued to go negative. Scott's kind of hanging out right around where he was, and Phil Watson's still struggling a little bit. He's got a hook. Simo still using urethane right around the 7th or 8th board. Putting together a nice game here. We do have standings after game number 9 now available on bowl.com. Jason Sterner is plus 116. He is your B squad leader. He has bowled 815 today for 4 games. DJ Archer is second overall on the squad. He's bowled 899 after opening up with 289, 240, 191, 179. So DJ kind of settling back into sub 200 scores like most of the field is. Chris Prather's put together a pretty nice block. He's at 881, 229, 206, 213, and 233. EJ Tackett also hovering around. He's bowled 797 today, so 3 under, but he's plus 80. Prather at plus 89. Christopher Sloan, 178, 233, 198, 230. He's on the every other 230 game kick right now. Michael Martell, 183, 199, 193, 245. He sits at plus 72. Sloan at plus 78. Simo plus 69 here. His day yesterday, he bowled 1033, and then this morning, he's bowled 191, 234, 188, and 223. Looking to have a big last game here. Tony Sambueno from Las Vegas, Nevada, has bowled 851 today. He's got himself to plus 59. Pretty nice day for him. Steve Klimpkin is at plus 49, 10 over on the day with 1 to play. Matt Russo's 38 over today, takes himself to plus 28, gets himself inside the number. Pontus Anderson a nice day as well, 856 thus far. Games at 233, 194, 203, and 226. He is now plus 21. Marshall Ken is now from Vegas, and he's bowled 777 today through 4 games. Being from Vegas. Some updates from what I see from the standings. If you want to see how your favorite player is doing, head over to bowl.com and check out the standings. So Simonson with a strike in the 9th. Looks like we got a ball return issue on 54. You know, another thing, I don't know if the guys talked about it yesterday, but, you know, this bowling center didn't have any events for quite a while. And firing up these pen setters and getting everything back working again, sometimes that can play havoc. And overall, we've had a pretty good run of it here thus far early on this week. Get the pen setters back up and running here at the National Bowling Stadium. They have made some renovations. Most of the bleachers are gone. They have 2 rows of seats now, but now that's all opened up in that area. That's the big major difference here. Of course, a little bit of a color scheme change. And I covered all that. I did post a vlog. It's on the USBC YouTube page and also on Facebook, where I kind of outline the changes here at the National Bowling Stadium. Jeremy Hunt says, "Hey, Mike, taking the over or under on Prather having 20 titles by the time it's all said and done." Set that number at 20, huh, Jeremy? 20 titles. That's a lot, dude. That's a lot.
Yeah, but they already painted the rest of the bathroom.
This is no disrespect to Chris Prather, but right now in his career, I would take under 20 titles on Chris Prather. 10 gets you in the Hall of Fame. I think that would be a much better question. Do I think Chris Prather will be a PBA Hall of Famer sometime? Someday. And I think that's pretty even odds either way. But if you had to make a decision, I would say, yeah, I think Chris Prather is going to have a Hall of Fame career. So here's Simo up in the 10th. Oh boy. He didn't like it at all. Left the target. So a possible 238 for Anthony Simonson. That'll get him the triple digits. I think he'd take 107 over. From what I understand from JT, we're efforting to have Anthony Simonson join us just after the block. We'll ask him a few questions about what he saw today. Wearing his Motown Muscle jersey today. Competition wrapping up here throughout the building. Most pairs are complete and done. Wow, that was like super fast. my man is on it today. Oh boy. All right, let's see here. Joining me now here on the broadcast is Anthony Simonson. Anthony, how are you?
Good, Mike. How are you? Thanks for
pretty good. Can you move up just a little bit closer?
Yeah.
There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, things are good. Can't complain. I'm ready to go take a nap though. Probably 10:30.
Yeah, so you got the triple digits today. That's got to make you feel pretty good.
Yeah. Thanks for telling me that. I don't know what my score was. Didn't really pay too much attention to get me over the 100 barrier, but today was a pretty good day. Started off a little slow, opened the 10th, game 1 to bowl 190, and then I was able to use the same ball and just kind of make small moves throughout the day that really helped.
Coming into this week, what was your mindset? Obviously, a lot of protocols here, kind of a different environment, and now really difficult lane pattern, pretty high scoring in the other events that you've been bowling. Just tell us a little bit about your mindset here about this particular week, this environment here in the National Bowling Stadium.
So generally speaking, the Masters, we know they're going to be pretty hard. After we burn or get the ball burn squad, generally see a little higher scores, and I think that's what brings the number up a little bit. But with us bowling a lot of games on the fresh this week, I think that's one reason the scores are so low. The lanes are playable, but they're definitely hard. So for me, it's getting to the bracket, and then once you get into the bracket, it's a whole new tournament.
What is it about your ability and your game that makes you so tough to beat in head-to-head competition?
I don't know. I bowl with confidence. That's kind of my biggest thing is I feel like if you don't bowl with confidence, you're not going to beat anybody, no matter how physically well you're bowling. And really just understanding how the lane breaks down. I like to think for the most part, I'm pretty good at kind of breaking the lane down to give myself a ball reaction off the start. So I feel like game plan, once you get into match play, it changes, based on who you're bowling, the lanes you're bowling on and all the fun stuff.
You're an interesting guy to bowl. I couldn't imagine if I drew you in an event and I was going to have to bowl you in a head-to-head match, because you might throw out a backup ball on me. I don't know if you're going to use urethane. I don't know if you're going to use resin. You've got so many tricks up your sleeve. How do you determine what trick it is you're going to use in any given event, match, game, or switch halfway through a game?
I think one thing I've learned over the last few years is, no matter the move you're going to make or whatever, shot shape you're trying to do, if you don't commit to it 100%, it's that much more difficult to be able to make good shots. Honestly, the backup ball doesn't come out as much as people think. I use it at a few special occasions, shoot a couple spares now. In terms of everything else, I kind of go through the motions. One thing I've done better this year is notes there in practice, and kind of having to have a more prepared game plan moving into the block. And I think that's one thing that's helped me bowl so well this year.
Also, maybe helping you bowl a little bit this year too is I've covered you since you've been super young at amateur events all the way into the PBA Tour, doing some work for some ball companies. But you were a real skinny kid when you first came out, and obviously, you put on a few pounds, but now you're slimmer again, a slimmer version of Anthony Simonson. What went into all that?
Nothing's really changed. I think the biggest thing that changed is, I went from being a 17-year-old working in a warehouse. I was probably walking 6-7 miles a day minimum, carrying bowling balls around, to life on the road, really. Not doing it. Nothing has changed in that aspect. Over the last year, I did take over, get involved in a bar that has bowling lanes. So I spent a lot of time working on the machines. Throughout the summer, it was quite warm, so that definitely helped. But I think I'm just being a lot more active throughout the days now, and that really helps. And when I was 18, it didn't really matter what I ate. It just like now, getting a little bit older, and it starts to hang on to you a little bit longer.
Amen on that one. And if people want to check out your place, I noticed that Brad and Kyle posted a vlog where they went and visited you last week, and they posted a vlog. Looks like a really cool place there. It's called The Nerd in Las Vegas. If somebody wanted to come check it out, how would they do that?
So the easiest way, first thing I should mention is it's 21 and older at all times. So apologize to the young ones for that, but it is a bar. The easiest way, it's at Fremont and Las Vegas Street, right on the cross street. If you know where the zip line is, right downtown, there's a building called Neonopolis. It's on the second floor up there. It's pretty neat. One thing that I think a lot of people that have stopped by over the past couple weeks is the fact that it's so close to Fremont. So they're able to come in, bowl a little bit, drop their stuff in the car, and then kind of go head out to Fremont.
That's cool, man. And you're invested in that, and you've been working on the pen setters. You've been cleaning the place up. So I love it when I see bowlers do other things in the sport of bowling to try to turn more people onto the sport. So kudos to you, Anthony.
I appreciate it, Mike.
All right, brother. Well, great bowling today. We wish you all the best the rest of the week. We look forward to following your journey along the way. Go get some sleep. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Trevor. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks so much. So that's Anthony Simonson here for us here from the National Bowling Stadium. a world of talent. Now, Jeremy Hunt asked earlier, do I think Chris Prather will win 20 titles? And I said, I think he could be a Hall of Famer. But the gentleman we just talked to, I do believe, will have 20 titles on the PBA Tour and go down as one of the greatest of all time. And Jason Belmonte echoes those sentiments. So everybody that's been watching here today, I really appreciate you hanging out here with me. As I was pretty much solo during this entire block. We'll get some guests in here as well, but it's been an absolute pleasure bringing you the coverage here from the National Bowling Stadium here in Reno. So for everybody here inside the facility, for all the competitors, we'll see you back here a little bit later here today, 1:30 Pacific here in Reno. Thanks for watching today, everybody, here on Bowl TV. We'll continue coverage here the rest of the day. Have a good afternoon.